Hey lovely people, welcome back once again to another episode of Stitches Beads collection. I'm Miss Stitches. In this video, let me share with you how to make a ribbon or a bow tie beaded bag. Before we start, do all to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button. Let's get started. Materials needed. So you cut your fish line. You make sure it's long enough. You cut it off. And we are using 0.70 mm. So you make sure you have the ends of the fish line. You pick 4 beads. Fix on any side of the fish line. Being it the right side or the left side of the fish line, you fix all 4 beads. And then you cross with the 4th bead using the other side of the fish line. You make sure you have the ends, then you pull it out. And then you have your first ring done. Going on, you pick 3 beads. Fix one on each fish line. Fix one on the right fish line, fix one on the left fish line. And then you cross with the 3rd bead using both fish lines. You still hold the ends of the fish line and then you pull it out to make sure one side is no longer than the other. Then you have your 2nd ring done. Then you still pick 3 beads, fix one on the left fish line, fix one on the right fish line. And then you cross with the 3rd bead using both fish lines. Pull it out. Then you have your 3rd ring done. We are going to continue weaving with the same method until you get 11 steps. So you get 11 in all. So we have 10 now, and with the 11th part on this fish line, you pick 3 beads, fix all 3 beads on the fish line. Then you cross with the 3rd bead using the other side of the fish line, which is my right fish line. And then you pull it out. So you have the fish line turned. So this is what you have. You have 11 in all. And then on this fish line, you fix 3 beads. You pick 3 beads, then you fix all 3 beads on that fish line. Then you cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line. So you can turn completely to weave to the other end. So as you can see, you have the fish line turned completely. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. And then you pick 2 beads, fix on the left fish line. You cross with the 2nd bead using the right fish line. And then you pull it out. And then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. Still pick 2 beads, fix on the left fish line, cross with the 2nd bead using the right fish line. You pull it out. And then you weave on to the last but 1 bead. So when you get to the last but 1 bead on this fish line, you fix 2 beads. And then you cross with the 2nd bead using the other side of the fish line. You pull it out so you can turn to weave to the other end. So we are going to continue weaving till we get to, so we are going to weave 2 more steps here. So we need 4 steps in all, so you weave 2 more. So we have it now. We have our 4 steps done. So with this fish line, I'm going to pass them through to the last but 1 bead here. To the last but 1 bead. So this is what you should get. Then on this fish line, you fix 3 beads. Then you cross with the 3rd bead using the other side of the fish line. You pull it out. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead. Then you fix 2 beads on the left fish line again. Then you cross with the right fish line. Then you go through the next bead. So my fish line is short, so I'm going to pass them through. And then with a new fish line, you go through the next 2 beads here. the next 2 beads I'm going through. Please watch carefully. You pull it out, then you go on and weave on with the same method till you get to the last but 1 bead. So when you get to the last but 1 bead, on this fish line you fix 2 beads. Then with the same fish line you go through this bead. So you pass it through this bead, you pull it out, and then with both fish lines you pass them through to the last but 1 bead here. So it goes through to this bead here. So this is what you have. Then on this fish line you go on and weave. So we are going to continue weaving, leaving the last but 1 beads behind, so until we get 3 in all. So please follow up carefully. So that's what you should get at the end of it. You should have 3 beads, and I made the same offline, the same size, the same length offline. So I want to join the sides together to get the shape we want. So on this fish line you fix 1 bead, and then with the same bead you go through the first bead on the other side, pull it out. So you have the beads in the middle of both. Then you pick 1 bead, and then you cross with both fish lines, you pull it out. Then with the right fish line go through the next bead, with the left fish line go through the next bead, and then you cross with 1 bead again. With the right fish line go through the next bead, with the left to go through the next bead, and then you cross with the last 1 bead, you pull it out. Then as you can see we have a join. So you are going to pass the excess fish lines through to secure that side. So we have it done, and as you can see we have the shape coming out, which is the bow tie shape coming out, or the ribbon shape coming out here. So I'm going to cover the top, that is for the back side of the bag. We need to cover the top side of it. So with a new fish line you go through these 2 beads here, then you pull it out. Then on this fish line you fix 2 beads. So I'm using white beads for that. You fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you cut with the second bead using the other side of the fish line, you pull it out. Then with the right fish line you go through the next bead, still go on and fix 2 beads again, cut with the second bead, you pull it out. Then with the right fish line go through the next 3 beads. Then on this fish line you've crossed with 1 bead, you cross both sides with 1 bead here. So on this fish line you fix 3 beads, then you cross with the 3rd bead using the right fish line, you pull it out. Then with the right fish line you go through the next 2 beads. Then on this fish line you fix 1 bead. Then with that same fish line you go through this bead, you pull it out. Then you pass the fish line through to this bead here, you pass it through, so it comes out of this bead. So this is what you should get. Then with the right fish line you go through the next bead, fix 2 beads again, and then you weave on. Then with the right fish line you go through the next 2 beads, cross with 1 bead. Then on this fish line you fix 3 beads, pull it out. Then you go through the next 2 beads, and then with that same bead you pass it through this bead here. Then you pass both fish lines through to come out of this bead. Then you go through the next bead, then you weave on with the same method. So anytime you get to the end you need to mark the method, and then you need to follow up with the method so you'll be on the right track. Then you cross it. Okay, so this is what you should get for the back side of the bag. You need to pass your excess fish lines through, and this is what we have for the back side of the bag. So we're about to do a second one for the front side of the bag. So this is the front side, and we are only going to weave 1 roll of it. So with the new fish line you go through these 2 beads here, you pull it out. Then on this fish line you fix 2 beads, you cross with the second bead, make sure you have the ends of the fish line, pull it out. Then on this fish line, you fix 3 beads, cross with the third bead, pull it out so you have the fish line turned. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next 2 beads, cross with 1 bead using both fish lines, you pull it out. Then on this fish line, you fix 3 beads, cross with the third bead, pull it out. Then with the other side of the fish line, you go through the next 2 beads, cross both sides with 1 bead, pull it out. Then on this fish line, you still fix 3 beads, cross with the third bead, then you go through the next 2 beads, cross with 1 bead, then you go through the next 1 bead, fix 2 beads on the left fish line, then you pull it out, then you go through the next 2 beads, and then you cross with 1 bead, and then you weave on with the same method. Then you cross with 1 bead. So this is what you should do for the front side as well. You need to pass your excess fish lines through. So we are done for the back side and the front side, and note that this is for the front side of the bag, so we are going to weave around it. So with a new fish line, you go through the first bead here, you pull it out on this fish line, you fix 3 beads, and then you cross with the third bead using the other side of the fish line. You make sure you have the ends of the fish line, you pull it out. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead, you fix 2 beads on the left fish line again, you cross with the second bead using the right fish line, and then you pull it out. Then we'll go through the next bead, fix 2 beads again, and then you weave on with the same method. So as you can see, we have the sides forming up, so you are going to continue weaving till you get to the other end of it. So this is what you should get after you are done with the sides of the bag. Then I did the same thing to the back side of the bag as well. So you do the same thing to the front and back side, and then we join them together. So my fish line is long enough so I can start weaving with that. So on this fish line, you fix 1 bead, and then with that same fish line, you go through the first bead on the other side of the bag, then you pull it out so you have the beads in the middle of both sides. Then you pick 1 bead, then you cross with both sides of the fish line. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead, with the left fish line, you go through the next bead, and then you pick 1 bead, and then you cross with both sides of the fish line. Then with the right fish line, you go through the next bead, with the left fish line, you go through the next bead again, and then you pick 1 bead and cross with both sides of the fish line, and then you weave on with the same method. As you can see, we have the sides joining as well, so we are going to continue weaving with the same method till you get to the end of the bag. So this is what you should get after you are done. We have the sides joined completely. Then you have to pass your excess fish line through to secure the side of the bag. So this is what you have after you are done passing the excess fish line through. And now we are going to make a cover for the bag. So I'm going to do that offline because it's the same method I used for the bag. That's the same method I'm using for the cover of the bag. So you start from the ends to ends, and then you weave on 3 times. So I have my cover done, and I decided to shape it up a little. So this is what I had after I'm done. And with the shaping up, you just leave 4 on each side of the cover, 4 on each side, and then you still leave the last but 1 bead at the end so you can get the triangle shape, and still leave 3 at the top so you can cover it up. So you leave this one side here, and then you count 3, and you can fold that side. So in all the cover I did 8 steps in all, 4 for the straight side, and then 4 will also give you the triangle shape. And then from this side you fold the triangle side as well. Then this is what you get for the cover. So you still have the shape in it. So I'm going to weave a handle for the bag as well. So with the new fish line, I'm going to weave from the middle part. So you go through this bead, you go through it, then you pull it out. So you have it this way. Then you fix 3 beads, fix 1 on each fish line, fix 1 on the left side, fix 1 on the right side, and then you cross with the 3rd bead. Be using both fish lines, then you pull it out. Make sure you have the ends of it, then you pull it out. Then you still go on and pick 3 beads, fix 1 on each fish line, and then you cross with the 3rd bead. Then you pull it out, and then you weave 1 with the same method. So you are going to continue with the same step until you get about 28 steps in all, or till you can join it to the other end. So any length that you are okay with. So I have 28 chains now, and then adding up the next one will give me 29. So I'm going to join it to the other end here. So you fix 1 bead on each fish line, and then the right fish line will come out from the left side, then the left fish line will come out from the right side as well. So let me say you are crossing both sides with the beads in the middle. Then you pull it out, make sure it's firm, very firm, and then you pass your excess fish lines through. You need to take your time to pass everything through to make your handle very firm. So I have it done, and as you can see, my handle is very firm and standing straight. So we are done with our handle, and we are about to attach a magnetic lock or flip or button to the bag. So we are going to attach it right in the middle of both sides, both the cover and the front side of the bag. So I have a video of how to attach the magnetic lock, so I'll drop the link below so you can watch and know how to attach it to it. So this is what you should get after you are done attaching the magnetic lock to the bag, and it has made the bag so nice. So you need to fold the cover back, and then you clip it, and your things are very secured in the bag. So here we have our simple handmade bow tie beaded bag. Do always to give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more of my tutorials. Stay safe, see you in my next video, and bye.